Hello and welcome to the Wednesday news show. It's Wednesday, it's time for the news, and we've got a beer, and you stole the good beer.
Kronenberg.
I've got
What have you got?
the Super U Basics.
What's Super U, Matt? Nobody knows what Super U
It's a
is.
French supermarket. There are other brands available of equally cheap lager.
Carrefour.
So we've got a packed news show for you, and we're starting off with a massive bit of news.
Yeah, so the big news at the moment, and everybody should know this by now, if you don't know this and you haven't really been paying attention to much climbing media, but Adam Ondra has flashed the world's first Flash 9A+. A week after climbing Permin Bertel's now 9A+ route Meioise and La Castagne 9A+, Adam has made the world's first 9A+ Flash, climbing Super Craquinet at Saint-Léger du Ventoux. For anyone who doesn't know what a flash is, it means climbing on your first attempt equipped with beta of the route. Adam has had two previous attempts at 9A+ flashes when he attempted Biography in 2012 and then Selection Ainau in 2014. In an interview with Planet Mountain, Adam said, "There aren't that many routes that are contenders for a flash ascent, and I'd already repeated most of them. La Rambla at Siriana and Papachulo at Liana, for instance, are both easier candidates for a flash attempt, I reckon, but I'd already red pointed them." When he saw that Super Craquinet had a first ascent made in 2016 and it was given the grade of 9A+, he knew it was the perfect candidate. So a couple of really interesting things about this ascent. First up, the beta that he got from a guy called Quentin Chastanier, who's a guy that bolted the first part of the route. And Adam said that once he got on to the route, and this is testament to his ability to read routes just from the ground looking at them, he said he was basically like red pointing it after a couple of tries.
Yeah.
So basically he got on there and he knew exactly where every single hold was, how it was going to feel. And actually, yeah, I think we talked about this before with him, didn't you?
Yeah, well, when he did that, he did the first ever 8C plus flash in the Frankengiro, and we sat down after it and had a little chat about reading the routes. Here's a little clip of that.
What were you looking for when you're checking a route like this out?
I see the line, I see the possible clips, I see the holes, I see the foot holes, I try to imagine where the possible rest points are, like everything. Like I try to get all the information available to make my onside as close to the actual red point as possible.
It's worth mentioning, I think, that on Friday we're going to do a gear show where we're going to talk through certain climbing terms. So we're going to cover flash, on-site, head point and red pointing. So if you don't know what these terms are, wait until Friday and all will be explained.
Yeah, exactly, because they are all kind of similar but different.
Yeah.
When he was on the route, Adam, he said that for that first part he kind of breezed up, and then he got to like the second part and he was like, he'd spotted some pockets up at the top and he was like, right, I'm going to get up there, have a bit of a rest and then get to the end of the route. Thinking that he kind of got past the hardest part of the route. Got up there, sorry, I had something in my mouth. Got up there, basically, and then finger pockets, and his fingers were too big. And have you ever seen Adam's fingers?
They're massive.
They're massive. So like, he basically didn't have any rest up there. That turned out to be the hardest part of the route, and he just like beasted his way through up to the top, and did the route.
Yeah, very cool. Very
impressive,
cool.
really impressive. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about really quickly, and I kind of read this interview on Planet Mountain, it was kind of a little bit my takeaway, but it's the kind of friendly rivalry between a certain Mr. Magos and Mr. Ondra.
Have you got any evidence for this, or is this entirely in your own world?
I kind of reading between the lines of the interview, but basically, like, my kind of thoughts on it is that basically, Alex got the first 9A on site, and that's massive. That's a massive chunk of history.
It's a benchmark.
It's a benchmark, and it kind of catapulted him up into like this stratospheric kind of fame. Whereas Adam has kind of up to then has kind of had all the records, like the youngest, like all the quickest kind of climbs,
First
like
9C.
Yeah, exactly. First 9C, first 9B plus. Is that right?
I have no idea.
Okay. We're not going to go from that.
I'm not saying that.
I think it was. But anyway, let's go away from that. Anyway, first 9C definitely. And anyway, so the fact that he didn't get the first 9A on site, I think, is for him something that kind of motivates him to kind of keep going and keep pushing it.
You're saying that Alex Magos drives Adam Ondra's overriding climbing psyche.
Yeah, because like if you look at it like other sports, like tennis, Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer, they like push each other to like kind of one-upmanship kind of thing, and make better kind of like you know.
But could you not say someone like Stefano Ghisolfi or even Jakob Schubert has climbed more 9Bs than Alex Magor? So are they not his direct rival? Are they not pushing him?
Yeah, true. But like, I just think from this 9A on site, that's the title that Alex Magos holds. I mean, what for me is quite poetic kind of justice is the person that made the first ascent of this 9A plus was
Alex Magos.
Alex Magos back in 2016, and it's essentially been trumped by Adam Ondra flashing it.
Okay, well,
so
you've heard
watch
it
this
here
space.
first.
Yeah, exactly. That is very much a theory that I'm going on. It's not actual fact, but I quite like it.
Hugo Pilcher's opinions are not necessarily the opinions of EpicTV.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on to more news, Tom Randall has made the first ascent of a Spanish crack called La Gravedad, an 8B plus in Villanueva in northern Spain. Gotta drink my beer.
Yeah.
Tom first tried the route in January but didn't manage to climb it while placing gear. 3 weeks later, he returned to send the roof. So I was a little bit confused when I read about this story on UKC because it was saying that Tom had the first ascent, but then it went on to say that 2 other people, and I'll read their names, Carlos Legrono and Hannes Pullman, had climbed the route first and before him. And I was like, well, so Tom didn't get the first ascent. What I think it's all about is that Tom was the first ascent placing his own gear, whereas the other guys had pre-placed gear in the crack already. Now, there is a massive ethical debate about this, which I don't necessarily want to get into right now, but I'd be interested to hear your opinion on this. Is it only a first ascent if you've placed your own gear? Does it count? Does it not matter if you're honest? Let us know by commenting below. But what I do want to say is it's kind of testimony to Tom's ethics that he returned back to Spain to do this route in the correct style, or his correct style anyway. And do you reckon that's just a British thing? I mean, he's a British trad climber, is that just British ethics?
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. But I think for me, what like Tom is doing and really pushing things, like I think by his own admits, he would say he's not the strongest climber, but like his ability to climb these kind of like harder routes by placing gear as well. We spoke to him a while back about like his techniques and how you do that, like when you're pumped. There's a whole kind of like technique and way of kind of doing these problems whilst having to place gear at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think in that way, Tom is massively pushing kind of that side of climbing.
Yeah.
So
it's his thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's his thing. And like
trad runouts.
Yeah, if you look at some of his videos, like he like has all these techniques where like he like tapes like bits of gear to his t-shirt, so he's got it ready for him to go. Then like he was talking about like, you know, resting one hand and then going onto a bad hold and then like placing the gear really quick, getting the rope in, then maybe back. You know what I mean? There's so many techniques to it.
I do that when I climb VS.
Yeah, exactly.
I just tape myself up, no real reason. But
Exactly. Make it a VVS.
Yeah, exactly. Right, so that's Tom done.
Tom done. Oh yeah, I'm going to talk quickly about Simone Moro and Tamara Lunga, who are Italian alpinists. You might have heard of them, but they're very famous in Italy, and actually they've done some pretty notable ascents worldwide. They've done the first winter ascent of Pic Pobeda, which is in, I'm going to read it quickly, in, where is it? I've lost it. It's not here. It is. It's central Tian Shan. It's the northernmost over 7,000 meter peak, and it is in the region's, the world's coldest region.
My car was minus 16 this morning.
I don't have exact temperatures of
-16.
how cold this ascent was, but a winter ascent in the coldest region of a 7,000 meter plus peak. That's pretty impressive, right?
I had to walk from my house to my car, and it was snowy en route. I didn't have any kind of massive down jacket, and it was minus 16. Comment below which one you think is more impressive.
Next time, maybe just like you could video it.
Well, I could vlog it.
Yeah, do it.
Next time.
Yeah, next time.
The next bit of news I kind of dropped the ball on because it's not that new, but we're still going to talk about it because Dave McLeod sent a Catalan Witness to Fitness, which is that original 8C boulder problem roof thing that recently got downgraded to 8B plus because Jakob Schubert flashed it and he reckoned it wasn't as hard, and Dave kind of agrees with that. Climbing 8B plus is impressive enough, but Dave did it 6 months after a shoulder separation. He had to find an alternative method through the crux to avoid a shoulder-intensive move. So yeah, we're talking about this because Jakob's flash is arguably more impressive, but I've separated my shoulder, hard to say, and it really, really hurts. And the fact he did that move and that roof with a damaged shoulder is incredibly impressive. And also Dave McLeod's one of my favourite climbers in the world.
He's a bit of an all-rounder, isn't he?
Yeah, he's climbed like Scottish 10, he's climbed E11, he's climbed 8C plus boulder problems. So yeah, he's like one of the best all-round climbers in the world.
I've got a question for you. What is the hardest on-site trad route ever done?
Ever done?
Yeah. I don't know the answer, I just was kind of interested.
Well, E9 has been on-sited.
By?
I don't know, but I know it has been. I don't know. Has E10 been on-site? I don't think E10's been on-site.
Does anyone know? Google it.
We should know this as climbing experts, but we haven't, and you kind of sprung that question on me.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just quite like the unscripted stuff sometimes.
Yeah. So this is the part of the show where we talk about upcoming trips and videos and stuff that's on the EpicTV website. And similar to last week, we're not going to start with videos, we're going to start with articles. So last week, we have a woman called Lisa Edeth, who is writing a series of articles for us, looking at training, climbing, and fitting all that into a normal working life. Because I mean, she climbs really hard, like AA, 8B, really hard. But she has a full-time PhD job. She's a normal climber, and that's something that a lot of us can relate to, I think. And we're having a lot of feedback about people saying that the articles, they're enjoying reading them and it's inspirational. So the second one is dropping, well, today, so you can find it by clicking on the link below. And this week she's finding things a little bit tougher. It's a bit tired, trying to find that motivation and questioning herself a little bit about why she's doing this in the first place. So worth reading if you need a bit of psych.
Absolutely. Videos. We've got videos coming up. Second part of the Reunion Island bouldering series that we got. 4-part series. Second part coming up on this Thursday. Here's a little clip of the first part.
Allez.
Allez François.
C'est technique, c'est beau, c'est haut.
Ça donne envie de serrer des réglettes. Allez, stop.
Allez, allez, allez. Allez, allez. Petite prise ou plat? Plat.
Allez François.
Yes.
Allez,
Allez,
tu pousses.
allez.
Allez,
bon, allez, tu
allez,
montes dessus.
Allez, encore. Allez, c'est ça.
Plat. Plat.
Marqué.
Allez, Tintin, allez.
Allez, vieux, allez, c'est ça.
Grimper. Pas facile tous les jours. C'est partout pareil. Il faut partir du bas, arriver en haut. Et c'est juste qu'ici, c'est des fois un peu trop haut. Voilà.
As always, you can find the link to that video in the copy below, so check that out for Reunion Island bouldering. Now, trip-wise, we have a super packed schedule.
Indeed.
Which I'm doing a lot of it, and you're coming on some of it. Most of it. Yeah. So it starts off in 2 weeks' time with our ice climbing trip, which we've been talking about for ages, but we're going to Finland.
Whereabouts in Finland, Matt?
Not Helsinki. We keep saying Helsinki, but it's not. It's
Oulu, which is on the west coast of Finland, quite north. It's going to be cold.
It is going to be cold.
You got a big jacket?
I've got the biggest Arc'teryx jacket that I could possibly find. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, so we're there for a weekend for that. And then we are going to pull up my schedule. And then we go to, I've literally got schedule. Then Cafe Craft. So we're returning to Cafe Craft to shoot another training series, which should be very, very cool. Not going to tell you too many details about that. From Cafe Craft, I'm heading back to the UK for Quiff, which is this amazing international bouldering event.
Kicks off the bouldering
season,
calendar,
really, isn't it? Yeah, it's a comp season. And I've seen some of the athlete list, and I'm not going to tell you any of it, but it's
Give us one.
good.
Give us one athlete going.
Alex Magos.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Is he competing? So, alright, that's good.
Yeah, so that's very cool. And before that, we're going to the Peaks in Sheffield, and hopefully, I'm lining it up now, but a bunch of climbing and a bit of gritstone. So I'm very, very excited by that. From there, we go straight to Spain, filming with a certain Adam Ondra, which is going to be very, very cool.
Cool.
And then from Spain, we go to Germany for Studio Block, which I didn't go to last year.
No, you didn't. I've got a question. If you had to ask, like you got one question to ask Adam Ondra.
Yeah.
You fly into Spain.
Yeah.
You sat him down.
Yeah.
What'd you ask him?
Perm or not perm?
That's terrible. Actually, that was he answered that in a in an interview we did like 4 or 5 years ago, and like we did like viewers' questions, and somebody said, "Who does your hair?" And apparently it's his mum.
I have a friend who asked for a lock of Adam Ondra's hair.
I mean, I think probably a lot of people would take that. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Friday gear show, we're talking about Flash on-site head pointing, red pointing.
Yeah.
And it's Valentine's Day today.
Yeah.
Yes. So last chance to buy those Valentine gifts for your loved one, and go onto the EpicTV website. There's a Valentine's Day sale coming up.
I got you a gift.
Have you?
Yeah. It's the ability to not look like a beer avoiderer on Climbing Daily. So please
Drink beer.
drink your beer all the way. Down it. Go on. Down it. 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 Down it.
See you soon.
Cheers.